Hey there, Abiding fam, and welcome back to my Abiding Journal. Today we are going to be doing a flip through of my creative journal in my traveler's notebook. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of my entries from the second quarter of the year, meaning April, May, and June. So without further ado, we are going to just dive in. If you are curious about this absolutely stunning cover that I have for my journal, I use a Moleskine extra large journal insert. And because I work in a larger notebook size, it can be hard to find notebook covers that fit this size, and that is where my good friend Bree from Documented Journey comes in. I highly encourage you to check them out. They are made from cork. This one is wheat, and it is the softest, most luxurious feeling. I cannot even explain to you how wonderful this feels, and I have a gorgeous spine on mine. She has all different patterns that you can pick. This one is Evening Rain. If you want to learn more about this cover, I do have a video all about it, so I'll link that for you up in the cards. But I know that you are here to see what is actually inside. I had started this particular insert at the end of 2021, and rather than start a new notebook, I just continued where I left off in here for 2022. So I made a little cover page, and then I have some opening pages. This is kind of my goals and intentions page and how I achieve those with first steps and time required and systems and rules and how to make it easy, how to make it enjoyable. A really helpful page, and at the end of every quarter I do a little check-in with myself, and you can see here that I've done that so far for the first quarter and the second quarter, and the third quarter I will check in with myself at the end of September. And then I have my habits page. This is blank because I want to do kind of a yearly review at the end of the year on this page, do sort of a timeline thing that would lead into the monthly wrap-up pages, which I set up at the beginning of the year, and I have a video all about how I do that. And then throughout the month, I basically just capture major highlights and put them on these pages so that even when I'm not capturing certain days and events and activities in my full form journaling, I can capture them in a small way on these monthly review pages. So if you want to see how my beginning of the year journaling went, you can check out my first flip through. But these are my pages for April. I have here, and then May and June. Love how these turned out, and my plan is to do a full walkthrough of the monthly review pages for you guys, and I'm going to be doing that in two parts, so the first half of the year and the second half of the year. So look for the video from January through June very, very soon, but I'm not going to go in depth with these here. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of them and advertise the fact that a video is coming very soon on these pages. So make sure that you are subscribed so you get notified when that comes out. And now I'm going to skip to where we left off in my last flip through. Okay, so here is where we left off in my last flip through, which was January, February, and March. And this is where we ended, which actually was for February. And then we skip to April, as you can see here by the date, which means I actually didn't do any journaling in full form in this way for the month of March. And that is why these monthly pages come so in handy, because I do have March documented. I have all of the major things that happened here captured on my March monthly review page, even though I didn't actually take any of these moments and journal about them more fully in this way. That's one of the reasons I love these types of pages and highly recommend them, because it puts less pressure on you to do full form journaling all the time, especially when you're in a busier season. So that brings us to April, and my first entry is for April 2nd, which was the start of trout season, which is very important to my husband. It's like a whole big event where he gets together with all of his guy friends, and we all gather at his parents' house because they live by a creek where they go on opening day. and we make a like chicken and waffles breakfast brunch for all of the guys when they come back from fishing, and it's just a really fun time. So I just made a very simple page for this with a nice collage photo that I create in my Pic Collage app and then print out using my Canon selfie. I have my Canon selfie linked in the description if you're curious about using that. And I have a whole video on how I print out photos for my journaling that you can check out to learn even more about that process. But most of my entries tend to have a little bit of a scrapbook vibe and have photos incorporated. So definitely a good one to check out if you want to learn more about how to document with photos in your journal. So I create a collage, and then I actually turned the collage into a pocket by just taping around the 3 sides and leaving the top open. And then I had this great paper that had fish on it, so of course perfect for trout day, and on the back is for journaling. You will notice that it is blank and does not have journaling on it, and that is because my intention is for my husband to write the journaling for this day. Notice that I am filming this in August, and this was April. So there is a common theme if you go through my flip throughs where I have pages set aside for my husband to journal, and then they stay blank for a very long time before I finally get him to sit down with the journal and a pen and just write about the day. So in a perfect world, he would have done this right away because he likely would have remembered more. But even so, even if he did this today, a few months after the fact, he still would know enough about the memory to write how he feels about it in this moment right now, and it would still be something worth reflecting on years and years and years from now. So I want to encourage you that you don't always have to be documenting the day that something happened or the day after something happened. It's okay to document things well after the fact. Even if you don't have all of the details perfectly right, it's still worth reflecting on the memory and capturing it in words. So that would be my encouragement to you. Journal about it anyways, even if it's a long gone memory, even if you're just journaling about your childhood, whatever it may be, get the memories down on paper. Beyond that, I have a little sticker here. I did some very basic stamping to write out trout season at the bottom, and that was using my great little alphabet stamp kit that I bought from Stationery Pal. If you're interested in that, I have a coupon code for Stationery Pal and also Obujo, which has very similar items as well. Obujo I think is a little bit better for shipping, but I recommend checking out both because they do have slightly different journaling supplies, and I have many hauls from them if you want to learn more about what you could possibly get from them. But that is how I did the stamping here. And then I have this really awesome, very textured piece of paper that I got from one of those shops as well. I honestly don't remember which one, but you can go back and watch the hauls to learn where this wonderful textured kind of like handmade paper looking piece came from. And I layered that over this sticker. Actually, this leafy thing that you see here is actually a very long sticker that is made to be a border. So it looks like a beautiful page, but it actually is very, very simple in how it came together. Next, we have a pretty simple page with some big stickers that I used on here. Life is lovely, better together, and this is documenting going on a hike and also getting some bubble tea that I actually made at home. My best friend for Christmas the one year got me this awesome bubble tea making set. I actually have the rest of the card here that I plan on using at some point. The website is flavorpurveyor.com if you're interested in getting a homemade bubble tea kit for yourself, if that's something you enjoy. I personally love bubble tea, and this was such a great gift idea for me. And it came, you might be able to tell, as a full piece that looks like this. And I just cut off the top where it says slow down and have a nice cup of boba, and stuck that on the page to document the first time that I made the bubble tea using that kit, and I'm sure I will use the rest of the card at a later date. But I really love how this turned out. Very, very simple with just a few photos and stickers and a free piece that came with the kit that I used when making the bubble tea. And then on this page, it documents Sunday, the 24th of April, and I always do try to incorporate the date in some way on the page. Here I used some stickers that say Sunday and then these gold foil numbers, and then at the bottom here it says April 2022, again with the same stickers. And you can see I just did some layering with washi tapes. Very, very simple. And then in the middle I did the same thing. The same washi that I used in the corners is layered together, and I created I wanted to make it look like a gallery wall that you would have in your home, and so I arranged the photos that I wanted to use on the wall that I created out of washi tape, and then I outlined them in black marker just to make them pop a little bit more on the page, and used some stickers and this really fun washi tape that I have that I got from Stationery Palo or Obujo as well. I really need to try and figure out what I got from which shop because I struggle to remember what came from where. So yes, love how I documented this page. This was essentially a hike with my friend Emily, and we did this while our husbands were instead enjoying time underground. And so I liked the fact that there was this juxtaposition of we had such a beautiful day and I did not want to go caving on a day where it was so beautiful outside, especially in April. This was one of the first beautiful days and I wanted to enjoy it. So we went for a hike, and then meanwhile our husbands had planned to go caving, and so in this envelope I just tipped this in using some plain Scotch tape, and this is the map of the cave, and you can see it's literally covered in dirt from the cave because they take this into the cave with them to guide themselves through it. Here you can see the cave, Mumwa Cave, and identifies all of like the little passages and the legend for what it looks like. And yeah, this is what people use when they go caving to know where they are when they're underground, with just a headlamp to guide them. Another fun adventurous activity that my husband and I enjoy doing, in addition to, you know, our ice climbing and rock climbing and mountain adventures, every now and then we like to go underground too. But on this particular day, I did not want to go underground. I wanted to just stay above ground where the sun was shining and the sky was blue and beautiful. But he went underground, and so I thought this was a fun way to document that without actually having any photos of him in the cave or anything like that. It's just like a fun memory tucked away in this envelope. This entry here is a less fun entry. This is me trying to start getting into journaling that's more about reflection. If you watched my journaling goals video for the year that I put out early in the year in January, one of my goals for this year is trying to be more reflective in my journaling, and journaling for mental health reasons, journaling through my grief, journaling to understand myself more and what I'm going through and to process things, rather than only journaling as I tend to do for documenting. So there's so many different types of journaling, right? And so many different reasons why we journal. Documenting is just one of them. Memory keeping is just one reason we journal. Others include things like processing, reflection, mental health. And I have a whole video series on different types of journaling and figuring out which one is right for you. So if you're interested in that, check out this playlist that has my 4-part series on different types of journaling, and you can learn more about those options that are available to you. But this is one where I really wanted to delve into more. So I did a pretty simple entry where I wanted to bring in a little bit of creativity still, and that too can be very therapeutic for me. So I created a collage at the bottom that is essentially all about growth and healing and things taking time. Everything happens within its own season, and me just trying to process what is this life and reminding myself that it's okay that I don't have all the answers, that healing is going to take time. And you can see here that I wrote, time is irrelevant to grief. If you are newer here, I lost my mom in the beginning, well, not the beginning. It feels like, I don't know why I'm saying the beginning of the year. I lost her in September of 2021. So we are almost coming up on a year, which is just honestly so difficult for me to even comprehend. I cannot believe that that much time has already gone by. And that too is something I need to be processing in my journal. But that's what this page is. It's me reminding myself of the need to take my time through that process and that there isn't a right way to do it. Reminding myself to not be so hard on myself, and that it's okay if all I do is breathe, because something that's been especially difficult for me and that I journal about a lot in this entry through my grief is I'm very much a doer. I'm usually a very motivated person who is motivated for myself internally. I'm self-motivated. I don't need others to push me because I push myself to get things done. And I'm typically expecting a lot more of myself in terms of what I produce. And that's been less this year. You might have even noticed with how frequent my YouTube videos are that I just am putting out less. And I'm trying to embrace that and be okay with it, because grieving requires a lot of energy, even if we don't realize it. And I'm trying to give myself grace, as I've essentially had to add on an entire other layer of work onto my plate by just being forced into a grieving process that I didn't choose, but it is something I need to do. And that's what I'm working through on this page. If you are interested in these stickers that you see here on the page, they're actually ones that I designed and have available on my Patreon page. This folder here is kind of where I personally keep all of my printable stickers that I have available on my Patreon. This is my most recent collection. That is the Better Together collection that we just put out. This one is one that is actually free. This one here I have available for you guys on Patreon, regardless of whether you're a patron. You can get this for free by going to Patreon and looking at my free post. So that is available there for you. And then this set is one I just made called Recharge Your Soul. This was done in June. This one too would be really great for kind of processing mental health stuff, as it is encouraging us to be a little bit less engaged with social media and just the world, and trying to work more within ourselves and take time for ourselves to recharge our soul. And then this set here is the one that I used for this entry on my grieving process, and this one is called It's Okay to Not Be Okay. And I really am proud of this set, because I don't think that there are enough stickers in the world of journaling and documenting and scrapbooking to help us document the hard times. All of the stickers typically out in the world are so focused on the best day ever and perfect day and amazing memories, and that's not always the case. That's not always what we're documenting in our lives. And so I'm really proud to have put out stickers that I think help you to document the full spectrum of life. And so if you enjoy that as well, I would love for you to support me by checking out patreon.com/myabidingjournal, where you can access all of my printable stickers, every single one of them, plus get new ones every single month. And you also, if you join the tier where you get access to all of my printables, get access to an exclusive video every month, which I'll talk about a little bit later because some of the pages I did in here are actually available as exclusive chatty journal with me's. So, another thing that you get when you join Patreon is actually what you see here on this page. This is a newer offering that I've done for the last few months, and that is journal prompts. So every month I put out a new set of journal prompts for you to think about as you document, as you reflect, and as you create. So you can see here that this one was very much on the theme of spring. And so what I did is I just picked one of those for this entry and actually drew like a little arrow where I was answering that prompt. So I had documenting the question about my favorite spring activity here at the top. Then I talked about my favorite place to go for a walk in the springtime over here. I created a list of traits that I associate with spring. And then I also did a little doodle of my favorite flower here that I love to see in spring, which is very basic, but it brings me so much joy walking around the neighborhood and seeing everybody's daffodils in blossom. It's like that first spark of joy in the springtime. I love it. And then over here, I actually did a fuller form of journaling all about my feelings about what I feel like a seed or a blossom right now. And the images that you see on this page, Hello Spring, and these cute little stamps with the florals and the butterfly, those are all printable stickers that are available on Patreon as well. Next, we are back to memory keeping, and this is documenting an amazing weekend in May. We went on a weekend canoe trip with our friends down the Pine Creek, and it was so much fun, but it's funny looking back on it because we were dreading going because they were calling for so much rain. So we thought that the creek was going to be way too high and just miserable, and also that it was going to be raining on us the whole weekend. And, you know, the canoe trip was a weekend long, which meant we were camping overnight. So I thought it was just going to be wet and cold and miserable. And we were so fortunate. We literally were just above where all of the rain happened. But luckily where we were, it was very dry except for the first night. And so we had the most amazing time, and the best part about the trip is this moment right here that I documented. Ben, look, a bear! I saw my first ever bear in the wild, and it was such a special moment because when I saw the bear was coming down to get a drink of water, and so I got to see the bear from our canoe. Such a special, special moment. So I have that documented here with fun little quotes of what I was saying and Ben's response. And I thought it was really fun to use this little bear sticker that I have from one of my little sticker books that I got. Let me find it. This is from Obujo, I believe, and it is the cutest little sticker book. So these are like little washi stickers, and this one happens to be animal based, so see there you can see another bear one. So I just cut out the bear from the sticker in this collection to put that here, and then I used this washi tape that I also got from Obujo, with this really beautiful blue washi tape, to make it look like the creek. And then what I did is I used sticker paper to draw a little canoe with two people sitting inside of it, and I just cut it out and then used it like a sticker on the page to kind of recreate the scene of us going down and then seeing a bear coming down to get a drink. And then of course I have some other stickers on here, like these fun stickers that spell out adventure, the not all who wander are lost, and the little binoculars are from my printables as well, available on Patreon. So is this fun little mountain scene that has the little tent in the middle. That too is a printable sticker available on Patreon. And then on this side, so this is all documenting the same trip, I have a little collage with some stickers overlaid on it and this beautiful washi at the top. That's like a map washi that I got from Obujo as well. Lots of Obujo products in this page, and when I flip it up, I actually used that same map washi tape to do the entire back of the photo so that it kind of looks like paper in the back, and then did this sticker set that came in one of my many sticker books, and it just says, "What a lovely day." And then underneath, I did all of the journaling for the trip and our experience. So I love this page. There are so many wonderful memories tied to this trip, and I think that this page documents it very well. And something I like to do as well that might be a good idea for your own journaling is every now and then I like to label who people are in a photo so that even though, you know, I know who these people are, I think it's fun to have them labeled every now and then, because maybe down the road it would be my children who are going to own this journal, and I think it would be fun for them to be able to identify some of the people that we were spending our time with during this time in our life. Next up, I have another little kayak trip down a river with some other friends. This is something we always enjoy doing in the summer. So I just have a very simple little collage of 3 photos of us out on the water, and then I kind of created a pretty little background to create a collage of elements around the photos. So you can see I have this little piece from that same animal sticker book actually of the ducks, and then this little May sticker, and then here this says New Adventures on the Horizon, and then this fun little piece as well. This background piece and then this sticker and this are all from Obujo. This washi tape in the background here is part of the grid set that I got from Amazon in a haul I did a while back. And then this piece is really fun because it was part of a magazine or a pamphlet or something, some free item that I got in the mail or whatever it may be, and I just loved the look of this, literally a guy, right, heading out on his canoe. And then it says, "Enjoy the great outdoors." And I knew that I wanted to save it to use in my journal at some point, and this page ended up being the perfect one. And I really played off of the colors in this as my starting point to pick out the washi tapes and other pieces that I used along the side here as well, really playing off of the pinks in here. And all of these floral stickers that have this gorgeous rose gold foiling to them are from the Happy Planner Farmhouse sticker book. So I think that this is still available most places. I got it on clearance, which might mean that it's one that's kind of heading out the door, but really love this sticker book if you can find it and are interested in getting it. And then something I love to do every now and then is just change up my spacing in my writing. That's a very simple way to make your journaling look a little bit different from page to page. Here you can see I did the same thing where I just skipped a space for every line. I think that that tends to look cleaner and is a good way to fill up more space when I don't have quite as much to say. These pages are documenting our anniversary. So this is 3 years of wedded bliss, and I created a little collection with some washi tape and this great journaling card that's just of this beautiful yellow floral with "I love you" on it. Put the date here. So we got married in 2019, May 26th. So I also put in a few little stickers like our special day, very simple, with a photo of my husband at the dining table enjoying the curry that I made for our anniversary dinner. And I just did some brief journaling about being married for 3 years and how we celebrated. And then we went out to eat at our favorite local restaurant called Alfred's, and they have very fine dining. Their food is so amazing. And I literally just made a little collage and put it back on a piece of scrapbook paper and did my journaling around it and called it a day. You also might have noticed that I had a little bit of fun with doing some watercolor splattering. Not something I have done in a very, very long time, but I really enjoy the look of it. So that might be something I start bringing back more, but it's just a fun, nice finishing touch for these pages. This entry is one that I actually have available as a very, very chatty journal with me over on Patreon. Most of my exclusive videos over on Patreon are chatty journal with me's, which means they are longer. They actually show my full process of me talking through a page from start to finish. And so if you're interested in seeing how this entry came together, you can check out Patreon. But I did it very simply with some photos and how I organized them. I used a piece of a map that we got for this hike and used some of my Recharge Your Soul stickers on this page. Did some outlining of the journaling. And I also underlined the journaling here, created some journaling lines for me to do the journaling on, which is another very, very simple thing that can look really nice, especially when you're working in like a dot grid or a blank notebook. Every now and then it's nice to give yourself actual lines to write on. It just gives a different look to your journaling. So if you want to learn more about this page, you can check it out on Patreon. And then this entry I won't talk about too much either, because this is one that I did as a live stream here on YouTube, so you can go back and watch this page from start to finish as well, in how I created this awesome page documenting afternoon tea with my mother-in-law. We had such a nice time. I used this amazing little card that I've had forever. This is one that I've been coveting for a long time. You know how you have some of those pieces in your collection that you just love the look of them and it's going to take you forever to actually use them? This is one of those pieces for me. It was actually part of a greeting card that I cut off and have been saving forever, but I used it as a tip-in and then put this gorgeous flower on the back from my botanical stickers book that I did in my Amazon haul. Highly recommend that sticker book. This big piece in the background is from that sticker book as well. I have this little lace piece. And then the really fun part about this entry is the little teacup lines that we did. And one of my viewers, one of you guys, actually suggested how to do this. And it was such a good idea. And I love it. So that's one of the reasons I love doing live streams, is because you guys get to be part of my thinking and process for creating these pages. So definitely more live streams coming your way. I know we haven't been doing them very much because I've been a little MIA, in part because of everything going on with just me trying to process my new reality without my mom, as I talked about, but also because big life things are happening, and I'm actually going to talk about that in a few pages, so stay tuned. So we are now into June, and this entry is a very, very simple, sweet entry documenting Shakespeare in the Park. I think I created this page in literally like under 10 minutes because it was just laying out my photos, putting a few pieces of washi tape that I cut out to make it look like little banner pieces. I did a stencil for number 4 since this was June 4th, a sticker, and my title. And at the bottom, there you can see, I did some journaling. So super, super simple layout. I love how it looks. It's very minimalist in some ways because of allowing for some white space. And then this page over here, you really get that minimalist vibe because it's literally just a photo collage, a date at the top, a title of Guys Weekend in North Carolina, strip of washi, and 2 little stickers at the bottom. And that's because this was really just putting this in here for my husband to have these photos of his trip because he doesn't journal. I think it's nice every now and then to include memories for him to look back on as well. And here, friends, is the big, big news, we are buying a house. We found a house. It's adorable. Here's the photo. So cute. We finally found one, and this page is documenting the crazy process of trying to buy a home in this exceptional market that we are all living through. If you are somebody who's trying to find a home, especially as a first-time home buyer, my heart goes out to you because it has not been an easy process for us with how outrageous prices are, but we honestly, like, God provides, and I don't know how we ended up with such a nice house for the price, well within our budget, and in pretty good function inside. We looked at so many homes that were so overpriced and needed so much work to be done that it was like we were paying so much money but then would have no money left over to actually do any of the work to make it the way that we would want it. And so this was seriously such a blessing to find this home and to have our offer accepted, and we close on the house next week, which means I'm going to have a lot going on in the next 2 months as we do a few renovations like painting and hopefully ripping up carpet and redoing the hardwood floors, and the kitchen needs to be completely remodeled. But otherwise, it's such a cute house, and I can't wait to share it with you, maybe do some DIY home videos if that's something you would be interested in seeing. Definitely showing you what my new studio craft room will look like. That'll be really fun. So make sure that you're subscribed and have your notifications on for all of that as well. But also know that this is why, partly, I've been a little bit more absent on YouTube, having my videos come out a little bit less frequently than I would like, and that probably will continue for the next month or so until we get settled in the house. So I really, really appreciate you being here and appreciate your patience as my content just is going to have to slow down and roll out in a little bit less speed than I would like. But yay, we got a house! So really excited to share that with you, and it was a fun thing to finally be able to document because there were definitely some moments where I thought I was never going to be able to create this page. And then here are the final 2 pages for the second quarter of the year. These are the last 2 pages that I did for June. The first here is documenting going to Fête en Blanc, which is Party in White. They did this in Hershey, and basically the idea is that you all dress in white to bring in summer, and you bring your own picnic and table, and it's like a very fancy picnic. And we went there as a date night and just enjoyed our time together, and I documented this entry using some of those rose gold florals that are from the farmhouse sticker book as well. And then over here I just documented a nice evening where we got to go get dinner with 2 of our good friends before they actually had their baby. And so we got to get dinner, and I just documented us all together, the food that we ate, and then she and I, Sarah, went to get ice cream afterward while the men went fishing, and then we went and picked them up. And when we picked them up, it was the most glorious display of fireflies I have ever seen in my life. They were just like stars. They were like stars in the fields and the trees, and you literally could not distinguish them from the stars in the sky, and it was stunning. I literally was just standing there for 20 minutes, completely mesmerized. And so I tried to document that by doing a little bit of watercolor here at the bottom. I actually did a metallic watercolor, though of course that's going to be very difficult for the camera to pick up, but there's a gorgeous shimmer in the watercolor. And then the fireflies are really neat because with the gold metallic watercolor, when you catch the light just right, it kind of looks like they are indeed fireflies blinking in the night. And I did some hand lettering using a brush pen over the top that just says, "You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world." And I had to refrain from trying to sing that because, of course, those are the song lyrics from Owl City's song called Fireflies. I think it's called Fireflies. So yes, I thought that was a fun way to document the fact that we saw so many gorgeous fireflies, because that is one thing that, as hard as you try, you will never be able to capture well in a photo. And so it can be fun to be a little bit more creative and break out watercolors or paints or colored pencils and draw the experience instead of just trying to capture everything with photos. Definitely recommend trying that in your journaling as well. And that, fam, is going to be the end of my second quarter of journaling. I really hope that you enjoyed this flip through and getting to see all of the pages I've created in the last few months. If you did, it would really mean a lot to me if you gave this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments which page was your favorite or which of the ideas that I've shared throughout this video is your favorite. Or just let me know something fun that you have documented from the last quarter. I would love to know what's been going on in your lives as well. And do be sure to be subscribed and click the notification bell so you get notified when my next flip throughs come out and when we get to go through. Like I said, my next video most likely is going to be a flip through of the first half of the year in my memory pages here. So you'll definitely want to be subscribed for that. But that is going to be everything for this video. Thank you so very much to all of my patrons who make all of this possible. I could not do it without them, especially right now in the season of buying a house. If you would like to become a patron to get access to all of the printable stickers that you saw here in my journal, plus many more, exclusive videos and more, definitely check out patreon.com/myabidingjournal. I'll look forward to seeing you all over there. Otherwise, I recommend you check out my flip through playlist or my latest video. And until next time, fam, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.